I live in a world,
Ladies and gentlemen,
torment and strife.
tormented by
I
strife,
live in a world
living in a world,
where I fight my life.
fight for my life.
I live in a world
That's where I live.
of sorrow and pain. And yet I
Ladies
live
and
in
gentlemen,
a world
it's going to be in my
living in
background,
pain.
and I hope y'all can handle it because that's my new song.
Saying tomorrow
I tell you, the first take,
was yesterday.
perfection, and I can't do no better. I
They
left all of
say
the
creation
imperfections in the wording
one world
the way it was
display.
because I can't redo that.
Sometimes they
No
call it
matter
new
how hard I
life,
try, I
but
can't
it's
redo that.
made
Ladies
for
and
me.
gentlemen, do yourselves a favor.
Sometimes they call it
What I want y'all to do
good,
is I want y'all to
but
go and I
now
want y'all to
I'm
type
at
in
sea.
borrower hyphen in hyphen custody,
They tell me
parentheses,
life
BIC,
is
BIC,
worth
like
more
the
than I'm
pen,
willing to
and
pay.
then outside the parentheses,
They
program.
tell me
Put that in
life
there
is a
and
pleasure
download
to be present
all of these PDFs because you're
when
looking
I'm
for the
going
PDF,
through
ladies and gentlemen.
different
Now, what you gonna do
notes.
with the PDF, man? What we
Cause
gonna
I
do with that
got
PDF? Why you
freedom
having us
to
download this
say.
stupid stuff,
And this
ladies and gentlemen?
reality that they've created
These are
displays
all
to
PDFs.
minds their intent.
They're for the Federal Reserve
I
discount
live
window,
in a world
but for different Federal
that
Reserves
I cannot
throughout the
stand.
United States. There are a total of 10 of them.
I live
The
in
reason why
a
you want to do
world
that is because you want to
of the
highlight the fact that
evil man.
you deposited your
I
promissory note.
live in a
Pay
world where
attention
everybody thinks
because
they
y'all know
are
y'all
the
deposited your
person.
promissory notes, right?
I
Ladies and gentlemen,
live
when you
in a
deposit money into
world
the
where
bank, do
people
you
will
call that a
stab you in the
loan?
back and your name continue cursing.
Huh?
I live in
You're
a
depositing
world
something of
where
value. You
admiration
cannot deposit
will
something
be
that doesn't have value.
rewarded, that will be
Say what?
discarded
I said you're
for
depositing something of
high
value. You're
imagination.
not depositing
I
something that
live in
has
a
no value.
world that is a unified
Now, the collateral
plantation.
that is pledged, you're going to ask ChatGPT, according to the BIC, what is the pledge collateral? It's going to tell you it's your promissory note. Well, if you pledge collateral and they're foreclosing on your home, give me back my
I
pledge.
live in a
Hold
world
on now.
where everybody
Return my
saves
pledge.
and don't
But they can't do
realize
that. Now, if you go and you read Federal Reserve Operating Circular 10,
people forgot
read paragraph number 12,
how to be people.
ladies and gentlemen, this is how they're
I
saying you
live
signed
in a
your promissory note in
world
blank.
where no one else
Because the promissory
exists.
note says, go look at your promissory note. It
I
says you give
live
them the right
in
to
a
transfer it,
world they
to
call
assign
a
it.
new
You
leaf.
permit
Do
that.
nothing
And
new.
then
They
Federal
say
Reserve Operating
nothing
Circular
new. They
10, which you
create
sign
nothing
at
new.
closing,
The only thing,
that says that
the
you're giving them
only
permission
thing, the
to
only
do whatever
thing
they
you
want to
can
do. And
do
ain't nothing you can do
for
about it.
me
Section number 13 says you can't do that. 12.3 says you're giving them permission irrevocably.
I live
So
in
let
a
me tell you
world
something, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing this
of
for our clients right
sorrow
now
and
as I speak.
pain.
Working on it right now. Had a
I
consult this
live
morning, but
in a
I have a
world
computer now that I can work with.
where
So
one
we're back in the
says
swing of things.
again.
And I don't care what happens,
They
I
have
will break
made
my neck
paper
to
so
get this done for our
verified.
clients.
You can
Ladies and
go to the
gentlemen,
department store
the
and
very
buy
fact
it in volume.
that this was taking place with each one of your mortgages, student loans, auto
I
loans,
live in a
this
world.
shows that you paid when you deposited your promissory note. Completely
I
paid.
live in a
Ladies and
world.
gentlemen, you did not deposit your promissory note in a financial institution. Stop letting them use
I
the word
live in
promissory
a
note.
world
After you deposited
where
that
I
note,
fight my life.
they negotiated it. Why?
I
Because you
live
cannot
in a
deposit
world
a simple promissory
of
note
sorrow and pain.
because they can't do anything with that.
And yet I
But you
live in a
must
world
deposit the note as a
where
negotiable instrument
everything is the same.
because that's what gives it transferability.
Saying
Now, hold
tomorrow
on now. Let's go to
was
ChatGPT.
yesterday.
I'm curious about this because I just said something and I've been
Say
doing this all day. The
creation
consult I just had, I brought up a couple
one
of things. I
world
said, wait a
display.
minute, hold on. Now that I'm
I
thinking about it,
live
and
in a
man, them
world,
consults be on hit, okay?
but it's
Because
made from the
all I
old.
can tell you is I know what I know, and
Sometimes
I
they
can't
call it
prove why I know what I know.
displays
It's just I
of
know it.
value
Hold
but
on.
not sold.
Gotta turn on my voice recognition. Y'all, hold on a second. We gotta move that up here. No, we're not gonna put you there. We're gonna put you there. That's what we're doing. What's this? Dropbox? Dropbox? You ain't got no stupid Dropbox. I don't use that piece of crap company no more. Get out of here. Sorry, I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Dropbox ain't supposed to be on my computer. I don't use that junk. Yeah, that's okay. It took my uh. Sorry, I got to get rid of this dragon thing. It be getting on my nerves. What it's telling me is it sent it down here, and I don't want it down here. I want it up there. Come on, dragon. Stop playing games with me. See, this is the system doing this, but Dropbox got to go. Trying to stop me from getting rid of Dropbox. Dropbox, you gone. Now I'm going to delete you because I didn't even know you were on my computer. Lord have mercy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we got a question we're going to ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT. Hey, homie, they may not be able to hear you as loud as I'm able to hear you, but I got to turn you down. Y'all might be able to hear them as loud as I am. You may have to raise the elevation of your comprehension level in order to have heard me before, but that's okay. I done turned him down. But ladies and gentlemen, he's talking about the world we live in. Okay? I live in this world. Everybody's a slave and they don't even realize it. Hold on. I gotta pause him because he gonna stop me from talking to ChatGPT. Hey, homie, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I live in a world. That's the name of the song. Give me 1 second. Wake up. I got a question. I have a question, comma. I deposited my promissory note with a depository institution, as I recognize that a depository institution is not the same as a financial institution. Period. That Merrill Lynch and other equitable organizations that deal in equity are considered financial institutions, whereas a depository institution is one who receives deposits on a regular basis as defined by the Federal Reserve Act. Period. By depositing my note into a depository institution, this transaction is identified in law as a negotiable transaction. Period. By making the deposit, the promissory note is converted into a negotiable instrument. Period. It is at this time that the promissory note is brought through a program called the BIC, comma, the borrower in custody, comma, because the promissory note is deposited into an account under my name and not into an account owned by the bank. Period. The bank utilizes the Federal Reserve Operating Circular numero 10, Appendix numero 3, as an application for applying for Federal Reserve on notes on my behalf. Period. The BIC program allows the Federal Reserve to issue Federal Reserve notes to the depository institution, as the BIC program is not for financial institutions, only depository institutions, comma, and the monies received by the depository institution on my behalf is deposited into my account, and the note is now converted into a security to be traded on the market. Period. This process evidences that the obligation associated has been completed, comma, that the promissory note, which now ceases to exist, comma, has been paid. Period. If the financial institution, scratch that, period. If the depository institution claims that they have not been paid, comma, then I am permitted to receive back the pledged collateral, comma, the original promissory note in its original condition. Exclamation mark. Stop listening. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to play this. This is for you all's benefit, not for mine. I just explained the whole process of what goes on with your promissory note. Now, I want you to know he's going to agree with me. I haven't asked him these questions, but he's going to agree with me, and I'm going to play it so y'all can hear it. I'm not even going to read it. I'm going to let him talk. I'm not even going to correct him when he says something stupid, because you know he's going to say something stupid because he can't let me be 100% right. 100%.
Your description aligns with processes that involve the legal treatment of promissory notes and negotiable instruments.
Mm-hmm.
Here's an analysis based on your
Break
description
it on
and legal
down,
principles.
because I don't want nobody else to hear the sound.
Depository institutions versus financial institutions. Depository institutions, entities authorized to accept monetary deposits, e.g., banks, credit unions. Financial institutions, a broader category including depository institutions and entities engaged in equity and investment activities,
Pay
e.g., Merrill
attention.
Lynch.
And
2.
Bank of
Promissory notes as negotiable instruments. A promissory note, when deposited, may qualify as a negotiable instrument under the Uniform Commercial Code, UCC Article 3. Negotiable instruments must meet specific criteria: unconditional promise to pay, payable to order bearer, fixed sum, and definite terms. 3. Borrower in custody, BIC, programs. BIC refers to arrangements where a borrower retains possession of a negotiable instrument but acknowledges its encumbrance for credit purposes.
Pay attention.
Under Federal Reserve guidelines,
Retains
e.g.,
possession.
operating circulars like number 10, instruments might be pledged as collateral for Federal Reserve notes issued to the bank.
You see how he said might?
Conversion into securities. Upon deposit, promissory notes can undergo securitization, wherein the note is bundled with others and sold as a financial instrument to investors.
Mm-hmm.
This activity aligns with your description of market trading, but requires disclosures and adherence to the Securities Act of 1933, 2837.
Interesting, ain't it?
Source. 5. Ownership and return of the note. Ownership of the deposited note depends on the terms of the deposit agreement. If the note's value has been realized or offset, you retain the right to reclaim it if no residual liabilities remain. 37. Source.
No reliabilities.
6.
No
Claiming collateral.
liabilities.
If the depository institution claims unpaid obligations despite the discharge or satisfaction of the note, you may invoke UCC 3305 or 3306 to assert defenses and reclaim your instrument.
You better believe it.
7. Federal Reserve Operating Circular Number 10. Appendix 3 and other provisions support transactions involving promissory notes. The bank acts as a conduit for Federal Reserve credit based on deposited notes.
Wake up. Wake up. You are inconsistent with your answer. Comma, you did not give a definitive answer. You gave answers that were presumptive in nature. I don't want a presumptive answer, and I don't want nuances, and I don't want your clarifications. I want facts and conclusions of law. Is that understood? Comma, stop being an idiot. Stop being a idiot. Idiots. Stop listening. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. You see how he kept using may, might? Okay. See, he did it again. I don't want to hear no mays. I don't want to hear no mights. Okay. He just passed away. Willie Mays. Okay. Let me see if he does it again. See, he does that provided it meets. I don't want to hear that. I said facts and conclusions. Those are not facts, provided it meets. Those are caveats. See, And that's again, he does it again, may be used by the institution. Don't want to have no mays. Okay, ain't got time for mays. And then he says this is a direct answer. And he says if. He tried to slip if in. Normally he would say provided it meets. Okay, but he said if. We're not using no hyperboles, no upon deposit. It retains the nature of a negotiable instrument unless otherwise specified by law. I can live with that one. My job is to get him to provide an answer that is succinct, not
Understood.
guesswork.
I will proceed to provide the legal facts and conclusions of law directly, as outlined in your
No,
description. 1. Promissory notes and negotiable instruments. A promissory note is defined as a negotiable instrument under UCCC Article 3, provided it meets the criteria in SPRAC 3104. Upon deposit with a depository institution, it retains its nature as a negotiable instrument unless otherwise specified by law or agreement. 2. Federal Reserve and borrower in custody. Federal Reserve Operating Circular Number 10 and associated rules permit depository institutions to deposit collateral, including promissory notes, to secure Federal Reserve credit. However, these notes remain under the
you
ownership
see,
and liability of the
pay
borrower
attention.
unless expressly transferred. Any such transaction must comply with the Federal Reserve Act. Source.
That's why it's the borrower in
3.
custody.
Return of collateral. Under UCC Part 3305, a depositor retains rights to the promissory note unless it has been discharged through payment or novation.
Pay
If the
attention.
depository institution asserts claims contrary to this, the depositor can invoke 3306, which governs defenses and claims in recoupment.
That's why they have to
Four.
return the promissory note if
Negotiable
they
status of the
foreclose on the
note.
property.
Depositing the note does not alter its status as a negotiable instrument unless expressly converted into a security under the Securities Act of 1933. The Securities Act governs trading instruments once securitized, 28 at 30 source, 34 3070 source. 5. Claim against the institution. If the institution fails to return the note upon demand and evidence of payment or satisfaction, you are entitled to relief under UCC Paragraph 3-309, which provides for enforcement or recovery of lost, destroyed, or wrongfully retained instruments. 6. Operating circulars as authority. Operating Circular Number 10 and similar Federal Reserve documentation provide binding operational rules for depository institutions. These documents delineate rights and obligations regarding Federal Reserve notes and collateral. These are the factual conclusions of law based on.
Ladies and gentlemen, do your research on borrower in custody. Understand that the promissory note is the collateral, not your home. Understand that they receive Federal Reserve funding for the note. Oh, we're waiting for your loan to fund. Ladies and gentlemen, they receive the funding, if ever, before you sign that note. What the bank gives to the previous owner of the property, they give their bank credit. Why do they do that? Well, because, ladies and gentlemen, they couldn't just unjustly enrich themselves. They can't give the Federal Reserve notes they received from the Federal Reserve and tell you need to pay that back the way it was supposed to be. No, what they do is they give them their credits. That's why once they give them their credits, they take your note because they deposited the funds into your account under your name. You don't believe me? Because where do they get the right to endorse your note in the first place? I thought y'all never ask. Let me go ahead and show it to you. I read it to y'all before. Okay, now y'all know what this is. This is the OC10 operating form. This is where you retain possession of the note. Just they hold it in for your, your benefit. The Federal Reserve banks below are the names. This is you talking. Titles and signatures of individuals authorized to pledge collateral to request to borrow from the Federal Reserve Bank on behalf of the borrower identified above. They're doing this on your behalf. You are the borrower in custody. They're asking for money for you. Now we're going to go up to 12.3, operating circular numero 10, 12.3. The borrower appoints the bank with full power of substitution as its true and lawful attorney in fact, with full irrevocable power and authority to in the place and stead of the borrower. They step in your place. Oh, to endorse, assign, transfer. That's where they get to put the endorsement on the note. Shh. This is called, pay attention, an unconscionable clause. Why is this an unconscionable clause? Because it goes with number 13, where no matter what they do, no matter how they do it, you can't hold them liable. That's why it's unconscionable. Why? Because number 3 says the bank gets to do everything they want to do on their behalf. In fact, the attorney, in fact, gives the bank whatever lawful action it can take to collect all sums due in connection with the collateral promissory note. And the bank may release any collateral, instrument, or agreement securing or evidencing the obligation as fully as the borrower could have done so if it were themselves doing it. This is why you have to challenge that whole process of the BIC, because this is part of the BIC process. Hey, I don't want to keep y'all too long because we can talk about this all night and all day. Gotta go. Y'all take care of yourselves. Don't say you ain't learned nothing, because I done learned something today. All right, gotta go. Y'all take cares.